Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the 5.2 Pandaria PTR. If you missed my first video of the 5.2 PTR, which was going and exploring the Isle of Giants, where I got attacked by a giant dinosaur, go ahead and click on the link in the screen right now and you can go and see that. But for now, you're going to be seeing Death Knight changes. And mainly these changes were for Unholy Death Knights, although there was a small change into Death Siphon and Conversion. Conversion will now give you a little bit more health per runic power. It used to do 10 runic power plus 10 per second, now it's plus 5 per second. So a little bit less runic power intensive to be able to use it. Might see a little bit more use, but it's still situational in my opinion. Death Siphon also saw a buff, as now it will heal for 150% of the damage dealt instead of 100%. 50% buff to it, so maybe this will get seen being used a little bit more often, as it is pretty powerful overall if you do go for a heavy mastery build. So this could possibly be very, very useful for some people. Now, I am not on the main tune I am going to be showing you the changes on, because I went for a lower mastery build than my character Maxway. I named this guy Maxwell just to do a little bit of a difference. I reforged all of my stuff out of mastery. I didn't change gems or anything, so all the stats besides mastery and haste are different. I got some more haste and stuff because of it, but I went down almost 10% mastery. And why I did that is because now your gargoyle will do plague damage instead of nature damage. Plague damage is nature plus shadow, so if you're an Unholy Death Knight, your mastery will now affect your gargoyle as well. He'll also be free of cost. He used to cost 60 runic power, and now he's just instant cast, 3-minute cooldown. So you can pop your 2 cooldowns, your Unholy Frenzy, and your gargoyle right off the bat, and you don't have to wait for any delay time. Now I'm going to summon this guy, see a couple of his attacks, and see what he does for damage on this guy, and then switch over to my main to show you his damage comparison with about 10% more mastery, so it should be about 10% more damage. Come on, Gary, where are you? Here he is. 31k, 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 31k. So as long as my attack power doesn't change, he should be doing the same amount of damage, so Gary, I have no more need for you. Well, Gary decided to lag me out when he crits, so I switched over to Maxway really quick, and as you can see, I have 45.75% mastery compared to, I think it was 36% mastery on the other guy. So let's see the difference in damage. He was hitting for, I believe it was 32. Oh no, don't attack you. 32.4, 32.4, 32.4. Not that much more damage, but still a difference, and it still will make mastery a little more favorable, and especially because now Gary won't have the cost of him come into play when you also want to do Dark Transformation, because sometimes he would be less favorable to use because of the damage you could do with Death Coil combined with the procs you needed to get into Dark Transformation, because once Timmy grows up, he's very powerful. Now the other changes that went into an Unholy Death Knight is we get a massive buff to our downtime with Plague Strike. Plague Strike will now also add Frost Fever as well as Blood Plague. So pretty much Plague Strike is our outbreak now. Now this goes into play with, believe it is Ebon Plaguebringer? Yes. Causes your Plague Strike to also apply Frost Fever. So that's very nice. This will probably be our new opener too, instead of Outbreak, because now we can simply Plague Strike. It does decent amount of damage, as well as applies both the diseases, so then you can get into your attack rotation much quicker. It only costs 1 Unholy Rune, and it'll also, if you use... I have seen it one other time during the PTR. It turned it into a death rune, but this is the PTR, so that might have been a bug. Probably was a bug because I haven't seen anything about that, but it makes it so much easier to get into your rotation, and it works better with Unholy's rotation, because now we don't have to have that awkward blood room sitting around where it's like, do I use a blood boil? But then that turns it into a death rune, and it even just buggers up your rotation even more. So that will give us a little bit more damage at startup, and then also let us start nuking much quicker. And switching targets now, we can multi-dot very easily. I mean, Plague Leech will be even more of a DPS increase for Unholy, because we won't need Unholy Blight or Roiling Blood to easily dot up a lot of adds. We can just get a bunch of Death Runes and Unholy Runes, tab target and Plague Strike, and there you go. Everything's dotted up, and you can start using the Blood Boil. As well as Death and Decay, of course. But that's all I wanted to report, some Death Knight changes, and I will look and post on the video exactly how much more damage that Gary did compared between the two tunes. I can't remember the exact numbers. Only seemed like a little bit, but still that's going to equate to a percentage-wise more of damage. Like, if he does 10% more, if you have 10% more mastery, he's going to be doing that much more damage. So it's a cool change overall, and I like the changes that they put into the Death Knights. Now, this is at the first day of the 5.2 PTR, so all of this could change by the time this goes live, so keep that in mind. But that's all for now. If there's anything else in the PTR that you want me to cover, such as the monk changes, which I will be doing anyway, so don't worry about that. But if there's another class you want me to cover, go ahead and tell me in the comments below, and I'll do my best to cover them to the full extent. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel to see more. And that's all for now. I'll see you next time.